Alrighty, so this is episode 6 of I May Destroy You. It is titled The Alliance. Let me just say I am happy that I'm finally caught up. Episode 7 comes on Monday and I can finally be concurrent with HBO's scheduling. Now, I will say that I'm aware that the whole season is available on YouTube because I'm guessing it aired on the BBC, but I prefer to just stick with HBO's scheduling. You know, I don't feel like going back to back with I May Destroy You. It's a heavy show, and I still want to put comedy in between. So yeah, please don't put spoilers in the comments, and please do not give me hints of the plot. Thank you. This was a filler episode to me, but it was still good. I love me some character development. Now, the episode opens with Terry, Kwame, and Arabella. They're doing some type of graffiti art activity. Terry notices that Arabella's just off in space and she's on her phone. She voices her concern to Kwame, but Kwame's not really hearing it because he's off in the space as well, because we know that he was assaulted, but they don't. Woo. Kwame's like, oh, she looks fine to me. Terry's like, are you for real? Like, she calls BS on that. She even gives a computer analogy to say that Arabella isn't fine. She seems vacant, she seems empty, dead inside. And to this, Kwame's just like, huh, okay. For real, Terry just gave a fucking soliloquy on how Arabella ain't right. And he's just nonchalant about shit. So Arabella, she finally gets off her phone and it looks like she's about to leave. And then she tells Terry that, she's been texting someone from a support group. And basically it's for survivors of assault only. Now Terry, she questions if since she found this on Facebook or whatever, is this group really legit? And she's like, oh yeah, well, it's led by Theo, who they went to high school with. And just the mention of Theo's name, Terry's like, from high school? And apparently, I'm guessing with Terry saying that, oh, is it at a halfway house, that Theo doesn't really have the best background to trust. We'll get to that later. Terry says, you're not going. I'm not going to let you. Arabella's just like, okay, girl, I'm going to see you later. Now, I feel sorry for Terry. Nobody is listening to her. Ugh, poor Terry. So we get an introduction of Theo, and we see that she's the leader of the support group where women can tell their stories and then be there for each other. We hear a few stories from a couple of women, and then we get to Arabella, who's sharing her story with going out, her story with Zane, and now she's just feeling like she doesn't want to be in this position again, and she joined the support group to find out how she can stay out of this situation. And after she discloses this personal information, she gets reassurance from Theo that we're all here to encourage each other and you'll never be alone. So at the end of the class, we see Arabella stays a little bit afterward to talk to Theo. Theo tells her that if you need anyone to talk to, you always feel free to hit me up. And Arabella's just like, oh, I just wish I would have gotten to know you in high school. And then so from there, until the rest of the episode, we get a flashback to 2004 that's focusing on Theo, a young Theo. I'm loving this music in this episode, by the way, y'all. So already in this flashback, we get a sense that Theo is this wayward, rebellious teenager. Looks like she has a good relationship with her little brother and her stepdad, but her mom, it's tumultuous. She cussed her ass out at breakfast. Oh God, I get being a teenager and your parents get on your nerves even more, but Lord, if I talked to my mom like that, she would literally put me out the house. Put me out the house after she kicked my ass. So she's at school and she's making out with this guy who I'm guessing she's the one she's been talking to, on that prehistoric phone she had. They're making out, and I guess before class starts, they go to the abandoned part of the school to find somewhere to make out. Now, for y'all that was in high school, y'all know that there was a place in high school where it was construction or something like that, or where everyone can make out or whatever. I remember in high school, it was called the 4th floor at mine. Our high school is 3 levels, but the 4th floor was this unfinished part of the school, and that's where everybody would, do the damn thing. I was lame in high school, so I never done that. So they're just being horny teenagers or whatever, and everything seems fine and consensual until he pulls out his phone and starts taking pictures of him hidden up from the back. She notices this and she's like, what the fuck? Stop, what are you doing? And he's just like, oh, I just wanted it for myself. We know that's a fucking lie. Like, he probably already sent it out. But she's telling him, delete it now. And he's getting an attitude with her, and y'all, this was really hard to decipher. Like, they are talking in some like real slang. Like, I really need the closed captions for this episode. I was trying to follow. Basically what I got from it was he seemed to know that she had a reputation or something. That's why he didn't mind taking a picture of her. And at one point he even offers to pay her money to finish. So I can imagine that she's feeling crushed right now that a guy that she actually likes is a piece of shit. So I'm not sure why she gone forward with accepting the payment. I'm guessing she wanted to feel like she had, control over the situation. So she lets him hit, and she even lets him take a picture of it, even with her face in it. Guy's a true asshole. I really feel bad for her. So after he finishes, he goes to his bag to get his money to pay her. He leaves his phone on the shelf. She throws it out the window. I'm cool, fine. She should have did that. So he gets over to the counter and notices his phone is missing. She's already left. She stops by the little kitchen area and she picks up a knife and she leads to the bathroom. Now we're seeing she's in a bathroom stall with that knife. We see two little girls like entering, and when you know it, it's Terry and Arabella. Now they're having this really funny dialogue between each other, and while they're talking, Theo is in the bathroom and she's purposely cutting her leg. So they're all in class together and Theo is just having her head down as the teacher is teaching. We see Arabella and Terry, they're like playing or whatever. We see a piece of paper hit Theo and Terry notices the blood that's running down her leg. She alerts the teacher. The teacher goes up to Theo and she's saying, oh, Ryan, he did it. I didn't want to. So she basically framed this dude. And she wants to get revenge. She has no problem ruining this young kid's life. So they call him to the office and it's not looking good for him. They have the police on their way. Now, what I thought about this scene is, how y'all feel? Because I'm like, okay, he was an asshole for trying to sexually exploit her or whatever. She threw his phone out the window, fine. But she went the extra mile to like frame his ass and ruin his life. That's why I'm just like, and then we know the optics of this situation. Like a white girl, like putting frame on a black guy. Like, I don't know. It was just such a fine line. Like, then I was just like, oh man, I feel bad for Ryan now. Because I'm thinking she took it a little bit too far. Let me know what y'all think about that in the comments. I love young Terry. These kids, they're all doing a really good acting job right now. So now we're with young Terry and Arabella. They're talking to Ryan's friend Marcus. Marcus is telling them that Ryan's been framed. And they're just like, what you talking about? It looks like Ryan sent his friend Marcus the pics from earlier in the day. And when they see it, they're just like, whoa, this bitch lying. So they're basically talking about what I talked about earlier, like all the implications of race in this matter, the effect of white woman tears. They also bring up the racial microaggressions in the school. Now, Marcus doesn't want to come forward with the pictures because they think they'll arrest his ass too. So Arabella is like, just send it to my phone. Because her and Terry, they just refuse to let one of their own fall for something that they didn't do. So we see them go up to the principal's office, and before you know it, Ryan is out of trouble. He comes down there and everyone is just relieved to see that he's been vindicated. Black women saved the day, yet again. I mean, what else is new? Everyone is happy, and I gotta say, I was glad that Ryan didn't take the fall for something he didn't do, but I'm still like, well, later down the line, I'm sure he's going to sexually exploit another female. So yeah, it was kind of just like a bittersweet moment. And we noticed that they all call it the alliance, of all the black kids and kids of color at the school. Because they really all just looking out for each other. And this is like 2004, not like 1960. And it's crazy that, you know, it's London. I mean, just everywhere. It looks like white people ain't shit everywhere. So now we see Theo being escorted off the premises. And we see young Arabella say something, and yeah, everyone just roars into laughter. Everyone's happy. As Theo's walking away, she calls them, I think, some African monkeys or some shit. Like, I'm just like, damn, okay, well, sympathy out the window for her. But this really just like, I don't know, like, do y'all think she was right in what she tried to do? I really think she took it too far. Like, her throwing his phone out the window, I think should have been enough. But I'm guessing she was so hurt she just needed to pull revenge or some shit. So next we see Theo being scolded by her parents, particularly her stepdad. He's like, why would you do something like this? Lying on an innocent kid. Like, after all what your dad did to you, and that kind of like hits a nerve with her. And we find out that like allegedly her dad did stuff to her mom and her. He's like, everything that he's done to you, how could you lie on somebody? And she corrects him and says, well, actually, my mom had me lie on my dad for custody. And she basically continues to expose what horrible person her mom is. And basically saying, yeah, mom, I got this from you. Her stepdad is just looking on in disappointment at her mom. We don't know what else happens. And we get back to present day of adult Theo giving an introduction to herself in the survivors meeting. Now, it ends there. Out of the 6 episodes I've seen so far, this is the most confusing ending because I was trying to decipher it as to what that ending meant. I literally talked to 3 people and I was just like, what did this ending mean to you? Now, initially, I thought, well, maybe it meant that she's not one to trust really, or maybe she lied about it, but who's to say that she wasn't assaulted down the line? So I wasn't sure what was the connection, or was it just all for character development? I had another friend saying that it's like going to be like a revenge towards Arabella for protecting someone who sexually exploited her in high school. I can kind of see that. But in the beginning, we do see that Terry warned her about Theo's character. Now, even though the focus wasn't on Arabella this entire episode, I still really enjoyed it. And I'm real curious as to see like what they do with this ending and how it relates to the series going forward. Like, I can't wait! Like, we got 6 more episodes left, so I'm just wondering like where are we gonna go with this? I saw the preview for the next episode or the rest of the season. Looks amazing. So yeah, I finally caught up. Yeah, hey. Right. Anywho, like, comment, and subscribe. Please, y'all, comment on this one because I'm trying to decipher what that ending meant. Let me know what the ending meant to y'all. So yeah, I will see y'all for episode 7, and yeah, bye.